Having a look at Monte, though, that's another team that really excites me. I feel like they have their firepower spread a little bit more evenly across the board, which could help them. Not sure that they necessarily have the, the same highs, although they do certainly have the potentials with SDY and Waro in there.
Yeah.
So again, I think a clash in terms of the individuals is going to be pretty close. And then looking at the way the map pool breaks down as well, they can both pretty much play everything apart from their insta bans. So that gives a lot of options, and it means that we are very likely going to see a different veto from the last day, because there's no need really for them to go directly towards what they went for.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it looks like we're going to be getting into game as well, which is great. We can have a quick talk about the maps as well while we are in the sort of pre-game, just very quickly. Last time these two teams played, like you said, we had a pretty interesting pool of Anubis, Ancient, and Mirage, which Monte won 2-1. This time it's Mirage, Vertigo, Ancient. So Vertigo is the outlier. So let's see if that changes up the result today.
Yeah, neither team really playing much Vertigo over the last couple of games either. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of form they're both in on it when we do get there. For the moment, of course, focus needing to be kept here on Mirage, where things look like they could get spicy pretty quickly. It's the underpass push. They're setting themselves up for what looks like it could be back towards A still. I think the bomb's hanging back at the back of the apartments, so they are taking their time for sure, not in too much of a rush, waiting to see maybe if there was any sort of CT aggression coming in, and there is towards top mid. It's JL holding a perfect angle as he taps away the heads of two. Saw another player back towards the apartments as well when he peeked top mid there, so that's a lot of info being taken on top of already a massive advantage, which is just going to be extended once again for Apeks.
There's actually a bit of a hard read from what I can see from Apeks. I think obviously they have played Mirage against this team before, and they know that Monte do like to try and get Waro 2K with that P250 in Palace to go for those long-range duels. And obviously they've got SDY on that P250 too. He's already got one headshot back in return, and there's a dink toward Nork as well. He's down to 3 HP. SDY, oh, he's moonwalking. That could be a problem. I hope he's okay on toward Van there. I think he's timed out. There we go. No one else but him has timed out, unfortunately. You can tell that. So his reign of terror is over, and kRaSnaL will finish it off. I think they were very much aware of that in the end. So unfortunate for SDY, but they're already at a significant disadvantage in that series anyway. In that round, I should say, anyway. But yeah, what's interesting about this pick of Mirage, Dean, is that Apeks, they like it. It's a map they're happy to go toward. But this is the home. This is the home for Monte. They play it against basically everyone. It's their go-to. And for a map like Mirage that's been in the pool for so long, to have an 80% win rate on it out of 20 matches, 16 out with just 4 losses, that really does tell the tale.
Yeah, and they've won their last 5 games in a row. They had a little bit of a breakdown, losing out 116-13, but then they were winning overtime games. They were losing close games as well in overtime. They never really get rolled over or anything here on Mirage. It seems like just a fantastic map for them, which is not an easy task considering it's one of those standard maps that really everyone should be able to play. Everyone normally is able to. So you expect most teams to give a good fight and be able to take a map every now and again, get those upsets and such. But no, Monte seem pretty stable on it. Definitely one of their go-to picks. They've also got a ton of experience playing Nuke as well, although their stats aren't quite as strong there, but that wasn't going to come true with it being an insta-ban for Apeks. So yeah, Mirage was definitely the pick we were expecting out of them, and I think Vertigo is another pretty strong map for Monte. So if things were to go really poorly here for Apeks, there could certainly be trouble, but obviously taking this initial pistol round in such a convincing way, it's very, very promising. Hopefully this isn't going to be a super long pause. Always a bit annoying, especially after only the first pistol round is played out.
We want to get SDY back in the server for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think he's back in, but that could just be the hard lagging behind. I'm not sure about that one. But yeah, either way, as soon as we saw it through the X-ray of him moonwalking a bit toward Van, it was obvious that unfortunately it was really just down to the one player, and there you go, the tab tells all. So waiting for SDY to get back into the action. Hopefully it's not something that will be too much of an issue. I'm pretty sure that their only answer, if SDY is somehow sidelined for longer than expected, would be to play with their coach, and I don't think LMBT has necessarily been in the server for a long time. So yeah, it'll be a rough situation for them if that's the case.
Yeah, forgetting who, but one of the teams I was covering there a couple of weeks back also had to play with a coach for a little while before the sub came through after the issues were resolved. So Hopefully
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. It's never fun. Throws you off your
It
game.
would be one map, I think. Like they would probably get a proper sub.
Even then, it's an
But
important one map considering we're still down in that
exactly,
lower bracket. So
exactly.
I think I'd, in this case, rather wait out whatever sort of issue they're having.
Yeah,
Imagine that is what we're
you're not
doing
wrong.
anyway.
Yeah, the veto, as you said, I mean, in general, it is kind of interesting. I mean, if you look at we mentioned the Mirage and how good Monte have been on it lately. Just it's a classic sort of almost an aim map for these players on this team. Boris, in particular, he's been one of the standouts for me historically, when he was on Endpoint as well, actually. But Vertigo actually is very 50-50 between the two, and I mean that literally. Apeks have played it 6 times, won it 3 times, and Monte have played it 12 times, won it 6 times. So maybe you would favour Monte, as they've played it more and have more experience on it, but it is Apex's pick, so they're happy to go toward it. And Ancient is a map that Apeks have been very, very comfortable playing on for basically ever since this team's inception. So, yeah, you would think that this series will be close either way.
Yeah, it has potential for close maps across the board, with Ancient also being really good for Monte. It's another one of those maps that they've played 19 times over the past 3 months, have over 50% win rate, so while it's not like certainty that they win it, it's clearly one that they're willing to have in pretty much every single veto that they go through, so well prepped at the very least. As you said, with Vertigo being the pick of Apeks, I'd expect them to have some pretty solid preparation against the playstyle of Monte as well, considering there is like 12 demos to go over.
Yeah.
So you were saying perhaps 50-50, considering their stats are so close, but I think Apeks may have the upper hand in terms of preparation, knowing that they were going to pick it. So we'll see. There's always speculation.
We do have SDY back in the server, I believe, because now he's got the -1 score, but now he's gone again. So I hope we do get him back. We shall see. Can we have a quick tab, please, to have a look at the scoreboard? That will tell all. Okay, there we go. We have the reset coming in now, so the coaches are getting reset into their correct positions. And SDY is on the server now, as you can see. So hopefully it won't be too long now.
Last day I said Apeks were playing with Knock and they played with Berserk. Now it says they're playing with Berserk and they're playing with Knock.
I know,
get
yeah.
it right, please.
Yeah, I know. HLTV, I think it's a thing where they show the last roster, right, that the team played with. So it won't update until someone manually does it, I believe. So they are with their full 5 Apeks, no worries at all. And it's a
Berserk
full 5.
was a monster the last day, though.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe it was a big part of their win over Sprout. I'm going to double check, but pretty sure he had a great first map, especially. Yeah, well, 22 and 12, 22 and 21, 20 and 22. He was pretty consistent across that series, yeah. But Knock, I think, brings a slightly more explosive factor to the team, which is
for sure.
Probably necessary considering the sort of players that they're up against. And the fact,
I did see a few tweets
that Waro
about it.
was on the other side as well.
Yeah, I did see a few tweets about his performance. So, yeah, it's going to be hopefully a chance to see him in the future, perhaps, if Apeks are going to give him an opportunity from that Apeks Rebels side. Of course, played in many of the academy leagues. But anyway, we're going to try and fix this issue that is seemingly plaguing SDY at the moment. So we're going to go to a quick break, and when we're back, the game will be underway again.
CT on the ground, praying for the game to start again.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
can think of is the boy who cried wolf in the end. And all we need is a reason to make our purpose clear. We're here for our recognition of everything you hold dear and more. We made it this far, but not everyone is as headstrong. I cut out my tongue and save all the world for save the world.
Thank you so much, guys, for bearing with us. Apologies for that long delay, and I will confirm to you that I do believe the scoreboard is not 0-0, and it will be Apeks with the pistol round. It should reset once this next round is complete. So once that's done, whoever wins it will either be 1-1 or 2-0 to Apeks. We're about to find out how that's going to pan out, because Monte going fast and toward B. Maxton on the entry for Demke. The flashes are very good, and kRaSnaL is very blind, but JL does well to hold off with 2 of his own before Boros 1-digs him out of the round. So 3v3, but the bomb not yet down until now.
Yeah, but either way, it's not a super easy retake. Even with that kit in place, they've all actually grouped up in towards kitchen as well. So they'll try and move as a unit, but obviously that minimizes the angles that they're coming from. So let's see what Monte can do. An M4 scout and an MP9. Some damage already done. Tucking in behind the bench though, acting as bait. That low health player allows for SDY on the M4 to just pop off. And with 2 headshots already, he's gone ahead and forced Knock to make the decision of saving that M4. It really is the only reasonable one at this point, with the time already taken away. He's got a kit as well. That's pretty much all they're going to have in this next round though. 1400 loss bonus. Monte stealing away to force buy, doing so I think without even a bomb plant in the first round, am I right? So it really wasn't all that great of a force buy.
Yeah, it was really just, I think, a Mac 10, which, you know, if you don't get that bomb planted, it's basically like armor and Mac 10 and that's it. You don't really usually have enough for utility unless you've got multiple kills in the pistol round. Which, as you remember, with JL, I think it was in the end JL top mid with the USP, who got a couple, and when they went toward B and SDY timed out on Van, and that's where all the issues began. So, yeah, they will hit straight back, and as you can see, the scoreboard has now rectified itself as expected. So, it is officially 1 round apiece, and that is the correct scoreline. But the force buy wars will now be underway. Apeks with the M4 saved. Deagles and MP9 alongside it, with Monte having picked up those 2 M4s as well, with certainly the better weaponry.
Yeah, by a massive margin. They've used a lot of nades though, so the utility isn't amazing anymore. So there might be some chances, at least for these pistols, to stick around in some ratty corners, pushed up close as you can see. Ladder room control currently from JL. That could be pretty handy. He's already gotten himself 1. Looking to show off with the pistols yet again. Unfortunately, SDY is in for the trade. So the 1-for-1, no weapons to be recovered either. It's not really in a position where any of his teammates are going to be able to come get it anytime soon. Maybe if it comes down to like a save, they can perhaps recover it. But at the moment, they've got a couple of players in on B who are going to give this a go, as well as a long flank that's on the way around. I'm not too sure the timing's going to work out for STYKO, unfortunately. It looks like the push is already starting to come true. There's also a short player coming in. But Apeks are doing a decent job. Knock with the 1M4 has managed to go ahead and get a kill cleanly, which has slowed them down. They second-guessed their decision to commit towards B. Good damage onto Demke, but he wins out that fight just about, and with that the numbers are back in favour of Monte. Boros in the meantime had found the control on A, and SDY trying to cover his teammate as he makes his way up connector will successfully do so, and kRaSnaL falls as well. Good work by SDY. A second round onto the board now for Monte, pretty cleanly as well. They keep 3 standing. I think they lost the 2 M4s, was it? Am I correct?
I think so. So yeah, the thing that's actually interesting about that one is that STYKO was in on that big flank, right, coming back all the way through TV room, all the way up mid to get the Monte players in the back. But actually, the kill on him wasn't the critical one. It was the kill that Boros got, I believe, on Jacob, which in the end opened the path to go toward A instead. And when those final two players are rotating in through short, there's not really much you can do when you're fighting 2 players in connector, and in the end SDY could do it all on his own.
They had a flasher.
Yeah, they're going to run in, and all the USPs will get mowed down as expected. 3 for kRaSnaL on the Mac 10, good for his economy, building up that cash. And Monte, as expected on one of their favourite maps, have hit back immediately and off to a really good start.
Yeah, we're expecting a close series, close maps in general here between them. It's definitely the start that we're getting. Hopefully Apeks, they'll be able to start giving us some fight here now that the guns are in play. No op, sadly, but the weapons are decent. The utility is okay. Not amazing, so they are deciding to go pretty aggressive. kRaSnaL already getting shut down at top mid. It's SDY with 2 kills. MQ takes a bit of damage in the meantime, but it doesn't matter. They've got the numbers. They've got a 5-on-3 with a round just having barely begun at this point. And it looks like they're considering maybe grouping this quickly over towards B, which would be a really good call considering JL is alone. But maybe a bad call in the sense that it's JL who seems to be the only player alive right now for Apeks in terms of actually performing in the early rounds.
Yeah, that is true. I mean,
he's got knock now.
that's the biggest issue. I mean, he is at least here, that's the thing, but kRaSnaL's max 10 is doing some great damage, and he's actually standing the molly to win that fight in the end. Nork needs probably one more here, but Monte realised the situation, and they do not need to fight him, but STYKO took Warrior in the meantime, so that's actually changing their mind, and in the end they walk straight back into Nork. STYKO getting that frag in the midst of that play created an issue for Monte in their minds, and in the end they've chosen incorrectly. But however, DemQ still alive and can do good damage. He's killed Nork, and now he can move back and keep STYKO guessing. His health might be a problem, but of course STYKO will rotate into the site where he was last seen. DemQ going to be up through mid. He now can make a decision whether to go through short or up con. Of course, he knows where STYKO got that kill from, but he has no idea where he would have positioned himself now. Bomb plant will be available for free. There's no reason to worry. He will make sure it's safe behind triple. Now STYKO will realise, and of course with the lack of a kit, he's going to have to hurry up, and he knows it. But I think they'll have an inkling that DemQ is relatively low. However, he has found the AWP off of the ground, which now makes his health not as much of an issue as it was before. And there it is, an easy insta headshot with the AWP for DemQ. Didn't even have to be that good. And Monte even managed to find a way to claw that one back as well. 4-1.
Well then, okay, yeah, I mean, it looked like it was all over initially in the 5-on-3, but Nock and JL put up a fantastic hold over on that B-bomb site. Just, it gets too chaotic, and somehow DemQ on the low health wins it out. It may have been a bit much. I think it was Nock who continued peeking in from the van. Maybe should have repositioned. I think he was afraid, though, that the final player had actually been moving up through short and not the apartment, so kind of, I guess, felt trapped in a van at that point, and fortunately now they're put back onto the pistols once again. There's not much of an investment. There's Kevlar at least behind the few of the players, so I'm expecting at least some damage hopefully to be done, because the economy, while it's not built into a great place yet for Monte, if they could take a clean round here, then it would start to look pretty solid.
For sure.
Mid for the moment just being left open. They don't really have the weapons to fight it. Monte also playing pretty passively, so we're having a slower round.
We've got resmokes, as we said, with Apeks, but it's not necessarily a map like Inferno where you can just delay time so easily by smoking off those choke points. At least they can deal with con and a chance to hold off Apeks or the like. As you can see, JL and kRaSnaL both have smoked for this position. JL will use his now towards short. SDY creeping up 10-1 early on for SDY in the series. And he hears JL toward Vam, and of course he doesn't have any information on the second player on the balcony, so kRaSnaL could easily pounce at a time that SDY is not expecting. Nork outside connector as it stands. Boris, could be a slight gap in that smoke, and yeah, Nork will walk right into it. Free headshot for Boris, so you can see it from Boris's POV. It was an easy spot, but kRaSnaL did go aggressive and find SDY in the end, like we mentioned earlier. So it's down to Jacob on the site. He does actually hit the insta shot. Unfortunately, kRaSnaL hits the insta return. STYKO toward Palace could still be a position that's not being checked though, and they're fighting elsewhere, and in comes a 5-7, but Waro recovers. It's all JL, and that's a missed shot from Waro, and now 8 seconds to go. JL picks connector, and DemQ goes down as well, and somehow Apeks find a way to win that round.
Alright, I mean, they needed something kind of special after that previous round and how things had gone south once they, in the first gun round, of course, so it's a big find, but it doesn't fully break down the economy of Monte. A couple players are a little bit short. kRaSnaL won't really have any nades behind his weapon, but they'll still buy right back in here and look to challenge again, and Apeks definitely cannot afford to immediately drop around, so things aren't really letting off rather for Apeks quite yet. They'll have to keep this up and chain together a couple of rounds. Take this one though, then they should be good to tie things up at 4-4. Galil actually jumped in for kRaSnaL in the end. Boros got dropped in AK, I believe, so they've worked this out better than I expected. The one weaker weapon, decent utility overall.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad from JL either. I mentioned in the pre-game, which seems like a bit of a lifetime ago now, but I mentioned that he's one of the star players for Apeks at the moment. Him and Jacob are putting up some fantastic numbers, and already he's starting off this game particularly hot as well, winning a round for Apeks that they shouldn't really have won. But in the early stages of this one, Nork boosted up onto the balcony, moved immediately by the glill of kRaSnaL. So that's the AWP now having to be juggled back away. As you can see, that's being done by kRaSnaL right now on the HUD on your left there, switching from M4 to AWP over and over, moving it away from being recovered so he can at least take it later when needed. But with a minute to go, Monte have settled down on this 5v4.
Monte happy to just sit out this default, waiting to see what sort of response Apeks might have, and they haven't decided to really get aggressive anywhere. Instead, taking a pretty standard 2-2 split, but they're playing forward with these A players in towards the sandwich, one underneath Palace as well. This is a pretty strong setup, especially if they fully commit out Palace here and don't leave the actually holding for the trade. So we'll see how it plays out. There is indeed an up still up in the Palace, but Jacob takes two before going down. JL good for the one as well. That was necessary to keep his team in this round, and now they have the 2-on-2 time. It's there for the bomb plant, so they're not going to be able to stop that. Unfortunately, it's a flanco connector now, though. That's going to be a big issue.
Yeah.
kRaSnaL catches kRaSnaL completely off guard, and now it's STYKO in the clutch yet again. This time a 1-on-2, an op in hand. And no kit either with that bomb already taken away.
Yeah, this is look for the kill then try and run away and take, I would say, and he's just going to look away at the wrong time as well. Big round from kRaSnaL, triple for him, opening up by removing the AWP, and he ends it by removing the AWP as well. And that gives Waro an AWP into the next round as well. Interesting strategy from Apeks in that sort of mid-round aspect there, where they weren't sure about anything that Monte were doing. It was silent across the map, and that's why you saw them put around, 3, maybe even all 4 of their players for a split second, in to have a quick glance at mid. There was, I think, at one point 3 in connector. They saw it was completely clear and decided to 2-2 split it, like you say, give themselves the best chance possible on either side. Probably the best decision at that particular stage. However, even though the trades were good for Apeks on A, probably did the best they possibly could in that scenario, Monte found a way to figure it out once again.
Ooh. Thought he was going to at least get one on the op there, but no. STYKO destroyed Waro with the deagle. Good for the trade then as well onto DemQ, and suddenly they have a double op setup that could potentially put the nail in the coffin of this round. The issue is there's only 2 pistols over on this B bomb site currently, and if they aren't to get at least 1 kill to try and give those ops a chance, then I don't think there's going to be much that they can do. Was he still in the air when he got that kill?
It looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah.
It actually did look like it. I had a little inaudible gasp there as he got that kill, and yeah, it did look slightly strange, but Monte will be thanking their lucky stars they don't go into toward the AWPs, that's for sure. Of course, they knew that STYKO managed to nab away 1, but they didn't know the whereabouts of the second. So, fortunate to go toward the 2 pistols in the end. But if Apeks can save these 2 AWPs, then that certainly gives their next round a lot of impetus. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, obviously with nothing being saved in that previous round, I am pretty sure that Nork just bought a hero AWP there, down to 150 he was before that loss bonus came in. So that's where the second came from, after STYKO got his kill and recovered it from Waro. So at least they do manage that, and it gives JL a secondary now alongside Nork, and JL certainly has been doing some good work in general, not just on rifles, but I've seen him secondary up a few times as well. Nork will be over toward B, and it'll be JL in connector this time, while Waro plays with the smoke in mid.
It looks like they want this quick B play. Unfortunately, a quick shot from Nock shuts one down, and Molly to follow up pretty much minimises their choices. Don't want to sit around, wait that out, and allow for even more rotations to come in. So they're going to move back, looking for some mid control, and STY is just nasty, pulling that kill almost out of nowhere, landing on the head of Jacob through the corner of the wall, rather. This ramp aggression looking like kRaSnaL's considering it. It could be dangerous with a player up close, but it also could give them full control of this A side and just make sure that connector push won't be an issue. But with another kill from JL, it's not really necessary anymore. They seem to have already put a stop to Monte. They've slowed them down. They've made them reconsider, and at the moment, they're just picking them off one by one across the map.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely sure SDY necessarily needed to go through that top con smoke and try and duel an AWP toward Ticket, but in the end, it's worked out as a kRaSnaL, what I believe would be 1v3. Insta-trade, and now he's got 2 more players to find. Nork has the kit. kRaSnaL will be in the action as well with some flashes to work this one out, but kRaSnaL's full health. There's certainly a chance with this one. He's got a flash of his own to maybe go for a reface at some point. Now utility will come in, and I'm talking about a reface. kRaSnaL is choosing to reface by going around the world toward connector. Unfortunately for his sake, the smoke is on the bomb and the kit's on the bomb as well, and he's not going to be there in time. That's a shame. He won't even actually get a kill in the back, unfortunately. He was there a second too late to take the player who wasn't on the bomb as he walked back towards CT, and the gamble, unfortunately for him, doesn't pay off.
Yeah, it's something for Apeks, but they need a lot more than just something on this CT side. They need to actually start establishing some sort of groundwork that they can work from. So they have another round in the bag now is the question. It could fully break Monte. You can give them a chance to work up towards 5, maybe even 6 rounds, and who knows, maybe still come out with a 9-6 half if they could really get the train going. So we'll see. Now, what pick in the early moments, a little bit of a boost that they were hoping would pay off. Overall, though, again, just looking like a fairly standard default. One player out top mid, tucked in while he waits for Boros to get in position. And they might set up for an A split. That's what I was thinking initially from the position in no. Instead, throwing out their mid smokes, moving back pretty heavily in this direction. Maybe expecting a response to come in from Apeks.
This is an interesting one, because obviously Apex's economy, having not won any of their rounds really cleanly at all, still on the knife edge, so if Monte were to win a round again, Apeks would just be down to pistols without any saves. Jacob, oh, if he sprayed that smoke, he could have easily got maybe even 2 kills if he was lucky. Oh, a mistake on the boost there as well. I believe noise made. Jacob, I think, heard that. Boros has got his crosshair in the right spot, though. If that smoke fades, I would actually favour Boros on this smoke fade duel rather than Jacob. And there you go. Boros wins it. And now he has full reign of window. And full reign of the A site if he wants to go through jungle. Nork is towards CT and has to worry about Murder Hole now as well, of course. 35 seconds to go. The low HP Demque in Palace can just be a bit of a nuisance now. And STYKO smartly has walked his way in toward ramp instead to try and avoid the connector play. And Nork has dropped the bomb close towards CT as well. That's a big issue. STYKO has shown his presence. And he's going to try and go for a duel, but he can only get damage. Thankfully now the rotations have come in though. And Boros has to spam Nork down through Ticket. Somehow back into a 3 versus 2 before JL shows up. Another duel to come in. Almost takes down Waro. Down to 1 HP. But Boros saves the day again. 4 kills. That was so close, but yet so far.
Yeah, which is not good enough for Apeks at this point. Again, just a single round before they're traded back on. I mean, it's crazy because Monte still have not established much of an economy of their own. They've even been pulling out Galils. This time they'll have a Mac 10 kept in play from kRaSnaL and such. But it doesn't matter. They keep just about edging out with these rounds, pulling back crazy clutches, and it's going to be very demoralizing right now for Apeks, who do decide it's time for a little bit of a pause to have a chat about what's going wrong and what they can do to try and start righting those wrongs, I suppose. Because as we said, despite this being the map choice of Monte, and despite Apeks having chose Vertigo, which is up next, Vertigo is still a map that Monte are more than capable of playing. They actually have more experience on it over the last few months as well. So if it goes there with Monte having taken a convincing win here, then Apeks could be in a lot of trouble, considering, again, we are down in the lower bracket here. A loss and you're done.
Very true. We've got ourselves down to the last 6 matches before we get to the other ones, of course, in the lower bracket at least, like the consolidation final, which would eventually get you to that grand final. And if I'm not mistaken, that grand final does warrant you that slot in Pro League for season 18. Let's see who takes this round. Should be a pretty easy one, you'd think, because they're executing properly with plenty of flashes against just a couple of B players, and even though Demque got destroyed, it's a pretty easy opening. So Jacob and STYKO definitely worth saving their Kevlar. As for Nork, he should probably go in for something here. Look for an exit somehow. To be fair, all of Apex can look for an exit if they really want to, but Kevlar is important. SDY having a good start to this one, of course. As I said earlier, he seems to have slotted into Monte incredibly well. His numbers in general have been superb. And it's interesting, right? Because you do sometimes see a lot of Tier 1 players that drop down to Tier 2 are not really the same that they once were. But SDY is bucking that trend, playing superbly at this level. And they will survive with 3 players on both sides in the end there. So some Deagles kept over, but means nothing. They're buying up everything in this round anyway. And Monte, 8-3, already guaranteed a lead on the half.
Yeah, likely to be extended if they can even just grind out 1 or 2 more. Potentially still, though, 12 on the table, so see if they can get that. M4s across the board, though, for Apeks. One thing they've been lacking is the op. Knock has definitely not had it in his possession as much as you'd like to see. Mid-aggression flashes over, didn't catch DemQ, so he was good for 1 at least, while the rest of his teammates recovered from the flash. And again, the trade manages to go the way of Monte. That's one thing they've been very good at so far. Most of the time, there was a couple exceptions.
Yeah, there's always an exception. 3v4. SDY low, but Monte with a minute to go till they'll probably need to start making a push. Full utility on basically all 3 players, so that is incredibly handy. Boris goes for the peek from bench, but Sticker will be here in a split second and gets that insta trade. And there was another player lurking around that they were trying to deal with. There you go, it was kRaSnaL, and Sticker went back to check him as well. So that's a great check, but in the end, it's actually, all that utility never got a chance to be thrown out, which is something that Monte will probably look back on later and say, oh, we should have just all decided to group up there instantly, because when you've got that much utility, surely you would feel like you're at the advantage, and now with those kills coming through, it leaves SDY, the man who was low to begin with, and who didn't have any of the util, last alive in a 1v2. And Sticker's got the correct line to deal with him. He's shifting up, but adjusts easily and hits the 2 bullets required. 4th on the board for Apeks. Not too difficult that time around. Monte, as we mentioned earlier, money is not perfect for them. They still have 2 players that will require drops if they want to go for a full investment, which they should, I would say, at this stage. But still, I think at the moment, 8-7 is a vague possibility for Apeks.
Seven, definitely doable. Especially if they win this one. That would give them a good position to build from. Monte would finally be looking at an eco, which, I mean, it's impressive that they can break them down so quickly considering the scoreline we had a moment ago. As we said, the money just never really built up for Monte as they would have wanted and needed, really. Even now they've got a Tech 9 onto kRaSnaL. Other than that, though, I mean, they've got their op, they've got good nades behind the AKs as well, so it is pretty decent. No massive weakness other than the 1 player's weapon. JL gonna go aggressive through under, though. Previous round we've seen them challenging towards mid, so Monte are at least being careful of this, but it doesn't matter. kRaSnaL gets taken down. It was Waro who was initially posted up with the op as well, so it's a little bit surprising he didn't even get a shot rattled off.
I
did miss it. I didn't even hear it on my end. Weird.
No, I didn't hear it because the only reason I know is that I looked at his bullets and he had 3 out of 10 on it.
Oh.
So he did definitely take 2 shots. But look at DemQ. He's crept onto the A site in the midst of all that madness. But if he crossed mid, he'd be most certainly walking into his death. And it is still a 2 versus 4. The Apeks aggression working out again there. JL living a bit of a charmed life. Lucky to get away with Warren missing his shot, but Monte wouldn't say lucky to get away with this round. This is Apeks' all day of the week. Waro 1v4 with his AWP. And 50 seconds to go. He's already getting flanked by Jacob. Thankfully for his sake, he is looking correctly on the timing, but he doesn't know there's a double flank, and that's the problem. In comes that second player. Almost a whiff from kRaSnaL, but no problem. And that's the 5th on the board. And I've got to say, I'm not sure how much of Apeks you've seen every now and then, Dean, but kRaSnaL has been, obviously, ex-Blue Jays player. He's been very good from what I've seen. He's been sort of playing entry roles as well on as the IGL. And his numbers have not been too bad at all. So the fact he's keeping that up is certainly promising for this team going into the RMR.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've got to see too much of him other than the game versus Sprout that I covered, and he did play pretty well in that series, I think. So, definitely has been promising. It's not his best performance here so far, but the whole team has been struggling, so I don't really judge too much in these games. That nade was quite rough. Thankfully, the molly wasn't any deeper, or we'd probably have a couple dead players now, but they'll be dead pretty soon, it looks like, as the AKs mowed them down. Good work from Jacob. A single casualty as SDY gets himself one with the Glock at least. It's something, I suppose, at that point, but really it's just setting them up going into this final round where they're hoping to keep the gap, to try and keep it 9-6 rather than being as close to neck and neck as you can be at the half-time, which would be a really good recovery for Apeks, again, considering they were down, what, 8-3 just a few rounds ago, so...
Yeah, this is not too bad at all.
With a double up.
We both had a feeling that perhaps we'd be seeing a close game. Right now it's coming out that way. Oh, Boris is fast out mid. Jacob trying to make the jump from window to cat, and he got deleted immediately. And Warrow's taking STYKO in the meantime as well. Didn't even need an AWP for that one. As you say, there's two on the Apeks side, but neither of them have really had a duel yet. Boris is playing around with that connector position, but the Molotov in the end will force him away. So kRaSnaL will get a response, but Monte realise that there's a good option in front of them right now, and that is the B bomb site. They have a smoke for the window / for the cross, so the AWP shouldn't be able to get much work done here. jL's put himself into a pretty okay position where smokes wouldn't really block you off, but it's a position where if you get one and fall away, be difficult to get vision again for a second, but it's all going to be on jL here, and he has missed his first shot. That is the problem. Good flick down to take DemQ, and he almost takes the second shot. Out comes the Deagle, but kRaSnaL deletes him. 3 versus 2, and now kRaSnaL can try and get this bomb planted. kRaSnaL lurking in. Warrow checks it though, and gets the kill comfortably. Now it's just Snork 1 versus 3 with his AWP. And the Molotov will keep him at bay for a little while longer as well. Needs pretty ridiculous recovery to make this one a possibility, but Warrow is posted up, and he's posted up successfully, and Monte will glean at 9 on the half. But it's still a close game. We'll see how Mirage pans out after a very quick break. Dean, I'm going to steal one of your lines. That was a very quick break, and we are back. Not exactly how you say it, but you have to have our own spin on it. So, Monte 9-6
It's normally
up.
when I promise a quick break, though.
True. Very true. Anyway, pistol round underway. Boris already dueling with Norkin toward mid, and it looks like B is in really action.
Yeah, the flashes are solid as well, pushing the players back out of position, allowing those Glocks to get up close and personal as you want, but SDY has been on point all game with those one-taps, so it doesn't matter at close range. He's still going to get the job done. Eventually, trades start to come back from STYKO, but he is the only man who could respond up until the last moment where Jacob just about clinches one kill before being sent off to the graveyard as well. It is a convincing pistol round from Monte as they come back to life after slowing down as that previous half progressed. Obviously did get the final round at least to salvage out the 9-6, but it still could have very easily started going the way of Apeks if they were to pick up that pistol round. Speaking of, though, Apeks did win the first pistol round, and then Monte won a force buy afterwards. Maybe it's time for Apeks to get some revenge. The problem is they're going for a full eco, so they want the early gun round.
Yeah. The early gun round against Probably MP9s and FAMASs as well, which is important for them. Boris trying to clean up these ecos, almost making it 4 before he's saved by Waro. He wants some of that bonus cash, of course, on the MP9. And MQ will finish it off pretty quickly. So, how it should be. Boris with a nice start to the second half. And I actually thought he got both of those final 2 kills on the pistol round, but at the end it was kRaSnaL who got that second one. Yeah, I think Boris had about 3 bullets in the clip, tapped one, and I thought he tapped the second immediately, but it was just teammate help in the end.
Either way, it was an impressive B-hold back on the pistol.
It was. It was indeed. Now, can it be an impressive gun round? Because, of course, now you've got the 2 MP9s. The question is, what do you do with them? Do you want to put the M4s in aggressively to try and make up for those MP9s? Or do you want to try and put the MP9s together and go for some kind of duo play with them? At the moment, we've just got one under Balk in DemQ and one pushed up toward B. And that's exactly what kRaSnaL would want to do with this. So he has some control at least, up close and personal with that SMG, as Apeks stand tall in mid.
Yeah, I mean, I like the setup. I like that they have that aggression in. It allows SDY to also, I think, play around the apartments right now, just watching short so we can back up that aggression if needed. So they're not going to risk and stack over towards the A bomb site off the back of this aggression. Just gives them some unexpected setups. The only problem is Waro, I think, with the FAMAS is the one that's keeping a bit of an eye on mid from window. There's not a ton that he would be able to do once they do start moving forward. And, well, they're putting down their utility. Top connector smoke, a window smoke going down as well. 2 players just looking to make their way up short. The problem is the rest of their teammates are being held up in towards the apartments by all of this utility that's down. kRaSnaL eventually, though, being forced back, just about gets himself into a safe position so that he can take this fight towards apartments. But it doesn't matter. kRaSnaL opens it up. He even gets the follow-up on SDY. Do they realise, though, that Waro's already rotated in? Apparently they don't. He's gotten himself too. And while he didn't stop the bomb plant, he immediately took the kill and left STYKO in the back corner panicking about how the hell he's going to make this work. And he's given it a bit of a fight. Unfortunately, he just didn't have the ammo anymore. Brought Boros all the way down to 3 health. If he hit that one tap onto DemQ, he would have had time to get a bit of a reload in, and that probably would have been his round. So it was a solid attempt in a near impossible position. The problem is it good enough? It's 12-6 already now for Monte, and while Apeks got a bomb plant, it only just about lets them scrape together a bare minimum buy.
Yeah, that was, I mentioned kRaSnal's entries, right, and once again showing his quality with that, but in the end the recovery from Monte was superb, even though he hit those 2 frags. And Waro creeping in undetected was certainly a superb aspect to that round for Monte. It would have been very difficult for them if they didn't have Waro in that position and he had to play patiently. STYKO, as you say, great attempt on the clutch. Honestly, on another day, he probably wins that one. But not today. And Apeks with this half investment in the end, with the 2 MAC-10s and 3 Deagles and some decent util. I'm going to try and pop their way out toward A. Jacobs toward the ninja position at the moment. He hasn't been spotted, but he will certainly be spotted now. And Jacobs advanced so far forward. It's going to be a bit of a fiesta in toward the jungle position as well. And Jacob playing around that smoke, but Boris finally peeks at the right time and answers back before Nork spams him down with that deagle. And thankfully they're starting to settle down now, Monte. Waro got his kill. And even though Nork has found that AK, a late boosting toward window might not be a bad call with kRaSnaL in the position he's in. As long as they can do it silently. Oh, not silent anymore. kRaSnal's realised it. But thankfully, the fact he's so low means Nork still gets that kill. Now there's a chance to reset this round in a 2v2.
He's actually going to catch the upper as well. There we go. Waro worried that he had actually committed fully through jungle. He's coming back in and might even have the shot at SDY.
Seen it.
He's in towards that mortar hole. Yeah, the shadow gave him away. Ready. Not quite. SDY takes the lower angle. STYKO moving his way in towards B now in the meantime. Once he goes to put this bomb down, it will be heard, so he's hoping to catch him off guard instead, and that's exactly what happens, but it doesn't matter. The deagle spam leaves him on 1. What was that, 3 to the body? Oh, no.
Oh, no. STYKO's had 2 chances, but that one is way more painful than the previous one.
Some die young and some just don't die, apparently.
Oh, my goodness. That's wild. The fact he
Shiggy's
gets away with that is
1
insane.
HP.
Probably.
He was 1!
He was 1. He was 1. I mean, that's the deagle nerf, right? I mean, it's been ages since that deagle nerf came in now. It's been this way for ages, but If that was the old Eagle, that was a kill every day of the week, obviously. And as you say, that would have given the Apeks T side some life. Nork played that situation that he was in absolutely perfectly. The way he went back into connector to look for an advancing frag, and Moro was shifting his direction and managed to sort it out. SDY won his duel fine. Like, I don't think he was to know that the shadow would have been spotted. He's been spotted in toward ladder in the following round too. But yeah, the way STYKO couldn't get that body spam sorted, just lost a bit of composure at the end, and he'll know that himself.
Heartbreaking position, honestly. They have the chance to come alive now that the guns are back in their hands, but no room for mistakes to be made at all during what is going to be a pretty difficult comeback. Moving on towards A, there's pretty heavy presence. There's a player back in towards jungle who's got a bit of a gap actually in the smoke. This could be big, never mind. I'm curious as to whether JL potentially left that on purpose as to exploit it. That may have been the case. Demq up close on ramp. They've spotted both of these players, I believe. Demq certainly making his position known as he took one kill. Unfortunately, that's all they've got so far. And it took a while for SDY even to get the kill on towards the bomb planter right there. Didn't manage to stop it even though he had the chance. A return from Jacob at least keeps the numbers in favour of Apeks for the moment, and the flank from JL is ready to put the nail into the coffin for SDY, leaving Waro alone. He has enough, but doesn't want to save it. He's given this a go, and unfortunately it's not going to work out. Caught in the open, a missed shot, costing him his life, and that is an opportunity now for Apeks to start getting back into this game, especially with two players pretty much looking at the double eco right now for Monte, so they might even consider a force buy.
Yeah, that is very possible. Boros with 4900 might just be able to drop a pistol though, and I feel like one pistol and then save one. Oh, okay. That's a good option. 4900, like I said, Boros is sacrificing himself on this round, and he's giving the AWP over to Waro. After the shot that Waro took in the previous round, I wouldn't trust him with much, but he's been playing a little bit better on this CT side than the T side overall, so that was a bit of a whiff, unfortunately, from him. Didn't get the counter strafe correct. But, yeah, it's a chance for this round to be recovered. Waro, even though I clowned him a bit there, can certainly step up at any given opportunity. They start with the FAMAS. There's the Boros Eagle. Doesn't even need any armor to get some frags done there. And there's the pounce from SDY on the timing. Boros answers back with his another headshot toward Nork, and this is just Boros things right now. He can make these rounds show up at any given moment, and Waro is in position with his AWP anyway. It's a bit of a collapse from Apeks, and kRaSnaL spotted STYKO as well. Waro gets in position, gets that final kill, and 2 for him, but in the end, that kind of was really all Boros' damage in mid that activated that round.
In 7.
Double the score.
It is Monte's map choice, as we said, but we were expecting Apeks to put up a solid fight, and while there's been glimpses of it within rounds itself, certainly haven't had it come together for them to actually put up a fight for a challenge for the game, rather. Waro, yeah. Let's see if he can make up with a... Well, he already made up kind of, but let's see if he can hit a nasty flick to make us forget the easier missed shots. And, well, to be fair, I think that was a bit too much to ask for, but he does keep them busy towards top mid long enough for Boros to at least get that one kill towards under before he goes down. Unfortunately, he's not able to keep his life, but the 1-for-1 trade, not usually too great for the CT side, but I think in this case they're okay with it. They made them use a few of what was already very limited utility to actually get in towards mid, and now they have absolutely no nades other than a couple of flashes for when they do have to commit to a bomb site.
Yeah, it's that's that situation that Waro was in, of course. That's what activated that Boros peak, and he would have wanted to get away, but they realised the situation quickly. Another 1-for-1. kRaSnaL with a second. Demq hiding on default with Nork and STYKO advancing up ramp as it stands, with kRaSnaL just patrolling that mid short position at the moment. Looks like he's gone back through underpass and going toward the B apartments if the mini-map isn't telling me Porky's there. Coming back through under now, just making sure no one's pushed aggressive. And now they'll go in as a trio with the split up con. Nork and STYKO about to peek it. STYKO's got the bomb. They do not have a smoke for this plant, and the setup is perfect for Monte, and Waro is waiting for the peek from Nork. STYKO's in the middle of nowhere. Demq can just peek at any given moment. There it is. And kRaSnaL is left way too far away from the bomb. Demq does not need to face this. kRaSnaL and the clock. And not even going to manage to get past that one because SDY is there with the P250 to sort that one out as well. Great game from SDY, I have to say, so far. We saw the stats actually reset on half-time. So we knew that SDY had a good first half, and he's 8-3 on the second half as well. Really does tell the tale for Monte in this one.
Yeah, they've all been pretty fantastic. As you said, the stats unfortunately were set and don't give us the bigger picture. We'll have to double check that again afterwards. I'm forgetting what everyone was on, but it has been a team effort for such a convincing victory to be coming true right now. Boros already with that opening kill onto Kixan as well, who, as you noted, has been one of the stronger entry fraggers for Apeks. Boros wants to try and follow up with that aggression once again. That was dangerous. Jacob waited it out. Waro does at least catch JL wrapping around on the stairs. It had been called over by DemQ, who was smoked off and couldn't really do anything about it himself. So they give up the ground, but they take the advantage once again in terms of the numbers. And Jacob, he is also incredibly low.
kRaSnaL working his way in. That removes Sticker, and Jacob hasn't really got much of a say in this unless he catches the timing on toward SDY. That's the only chance for him, and he's been spotted falling down anyway. SDY can change the position. Might even run him with P250. I'm not sure if he has knowledge that he's low, but sticks with the AWP anyway and gets that one sorted. It's Nork 1v4 to save this map. Apeks, not awful on Mirage by any stretch of the imagination, but Monte, just so happens it's their best and most powerful map, and they're going to keep a little streak they've got running. I believe it's their 6th Mirage in a row. Nork can't connect the spray. kRaSnaL gets it done. That is a perfect start for Monte. That is a map we expected them to win. Vertigo coming up next, Dean. That could be a different story.
Could be, potentially. I mean, it's the choice, of course, of Apeks. We know that. They've had some decent victories over the likes of Copenhagen Flame.